You also are going to let the venue know what slots are available. In other words, when can this venue expect that the show will be available to them? So you could say there are slots available from April 2014 to December 2015. One of the things to remember with many museums and galleries is that they may have their exhibition schedule already planned out 2 years. So when you're pitching an idea, you might actually be saying that this exhibit will be, if it's like 2013 now, you might actually say this will be available from January 2015 through January 2017. Because depending on the venue, they may already have slotted out 5 years of shows. So you also want to look at that as part of doing your research on that venue. So we're looking to help all interested venues find a slot that fits their needs. You're encouraged to book early for the widest selection of time slots. Contact Stephen Fadden for more information. In the 21st century, you want to put your email on there too. I forgot to put my email or emails. A budget. You won't have to do this for this project, and I'll have an itemized description of what you'll be doing for this proposal. So I'm running through this with you right now. You'll have a list of the expenses, but you're not going to have to do this. But if you were to do this in the outside of here, that you want to have a list of the expenses that the museum or gallery has to cover. You want to send them a budget, and that includes installation costs, a catalog or a brochure, shipping, and that's not only for the objects, but shipping for the catalog or brochure too. You should know what it costs per unit to ship a catalog. If you already have financial sponsors, you want to say who already has committed. If nothing else, you want to say who you've approached. And then you may also be talking, you might suggest potential sponsors that museum or gallery may want to contact if they're interested. You also want them to know the flexibility on the costs, the scheduling, the promo. They may not have to be committed to putting a catalog out. Or they could do a catalog in print as compared to doing it on Adobe InDesign, where it's published as a Shockwave flash file, and you open it up on the web. And you turn the pages like you're turning a magazine, but you're not actually handling copy. More and more museums are going toward that kind of catalog, because people who are buying art are younger and younger, and they're already cell phone babies. And then insurance. Who's liable for the damages once the show leaves your possession until it returns? Do you carry your own insurance? So an example, this show is insured by ABD Insurance Company while in transit from Beelzebub Gallery. Beelzebub Gallery being the one, say for example, where the show is already, if it's a traveling show, or it could be the one that I have. So Beelzebub Gallery will insure the items once they arrive in their possession and until the items are returned to Stephen Fadden. So I'm kind of designating who's accountable at what point. I could be accountable, for example, with my insurance, all the way until the last tire on that van leaves the curb. Up to that point, they're on my property. That's my insurance. But once they're in public street, you're covered by a different insurance carrier, possibly theirs, if they're insuring it while it's in transit. For example, are there educational elements of the exhibit? That includes, are the artists or the museums available for workshops, classes, or lectures? Are they willing to go to schools? Are you willing to train docents to be able to walk the public in an informed manner through this exhibit? What type of docent or educational material can you provide? Do the artists or the curators want to do lectures? Are you going to have public lecture series, such as the thing they had the opening was it last Friday or the Friday before? And then the lecture series the next day. Yeah, the symposiums. Meet the artists, meet the curators. Some venues actually require strong educational elements as part of the community outreach in their programs. And this can alone, by having an educational dynamic, might make you a more attractive prospect when the museum is planning out its whole calendar of shows, because this is part of public engagement. So summarized, some of the summary things to think about, and Yeah, we're going to be done. You want to make sure that you have color copies of the portfolio pages. You want to make sure that it's crisp when you have the samples of the artist's work. So if you have printouts of the artist's work, you really want to make sure you're using good paper. This is one of the times when I'm saying don't skimp. There's a difference between using archival ink and archival paper for photographs than using photographic paper, just standard, HP photographic paper, and the ink that comes with your printer. Archival ink and archival paper will maintain its color integrity for many years when it's conserved and taken care of properly. As compared to, you might have printed out that family picture 2 years ago, and you look at it now, and everyone looks like, even the darkest person looks kind of like they've gone white on you. The colors have faded. What was a bright red shirt now looks salmon in color because the ink isn't archival. It's for everyday use as compared to for art. This is a time you don't want to skimp. So you want to make sure you've got crisp images with archival paper and ink. You want to make sure that your artist list includes any of the pertinent information about the slide, the artist, title, dimensions, and price if the works are for sale. You want the labeled slides of actual works in the show, and most venues now will expect digital images on a DVD. But sometimes, particularly if they're thinking about how something is going to look in a catalog, a printed catalog, that's when you want to have the hard copy images too, because they want to see how this is going to reproduce. You want to make sure you've got your cover letter on your galleries or your business's letterhead. You want to include, if you have it available, different publicity that your organization or your group has received from other exhibits, if you've done them. So if there were any reviews, any mailing postcards for other exhibits, past catalogs, newspaper clippings, include any of that you can. This is a time you don't need to give the originals, but you want to give a good copy. You also want to make sure that you've included your business card. If you're going to do curation as a run and gun, as compared to if you work for a museum, you'll have a business card already that has the museum. You'll have stationery that has the museum. If you're a run and gun curator, you want to invent your business. You want to call yourself something. You want to have a business card. You want to have your own letterhead. Also include your CV, a list of any professional organizations or associations to which you belong. And if this is an RFP, a request for proposal, sometimes galleries will put out an RFP. In other words, they're calling out to curators, we're thinking about doing these shows, submit a proposal. And we'll select from those proposals. So if it's an RFP, you want to make sure in your proposal you are reiterating what that RFP said, so that you can explain how your proposal fits their demands. If possible, you want professional letters of reference. Other people in the field who can vouch for the quality of the work that you do or the artists with whom you work have done.